find the candidates, they might want to find the relevant resumes for this. So how do they do this? They might probably go and check on the job boards, and or else they might just advertise on social medias or LinkedIn or any professional online system where they can probably advertise a job, or they might go for campus interviews, or they might check on any references that current employees have, or there might also be a process of direct recruitment wherein ex-employees or anybody who had presently left the job or even want to take up that job. So these are few of the efforts that a recruitment manager or a talent specialist will make to find a relevant category of resumes. So all these efforts together are called as recruitment process. So in this process, the recruitment specialist will try to find the accurate resume for this job role. So when I say accurate or exactly matching resume, what it is? So basically, for an instance, if I'm looking for some position in IT, say for example, I'm looking for a Java position. So my criteria or my requirement for this is somebody who knows Java, and somebody who has worked on Java, and somebody who has knowledge of Java. That could be code writing and debugging, production support, and off production supports, things like this. Somebody who has hands-on experience. You might come across this term, hands-on experience. What is it? It is nothing but knowing the process completely. It is not just saying that I know Java because just I know to open the bracket and close it or write a small statement around there. That is not it. So entire process somebody knows would be the right fit for the job, right? Or similarly, a marketing associate. For example, I'm hiring for an advertisement guy. So I would look for somebody who has relevant experience in advertisement as an HR manager. So this is the fundamental thing I'm looking into in the resume. And after this, I'll also check about the candidate availability and any other requirements that candidate has, any special request that candidate has in terms of attending an interview or any accommodation request or whatever it is that's relevant to the interview. So these, there are a lot of process that is involved. So these are a couple of examples for how the recruitment process goes on. Now, once you have the couple of resumes in your bucket, maybe 7 to 8 resumes has been finalized. The next step in the process is selection process. So, be sure to differentiate between recruitment and selection here. Selection process always comes after recruitment. Once you have the relevant resumes in hand, the second phase is selection. So in the selection process, the right candidate will be hired for the right job. As simple as that. So when I say right candidate, how will you figure out who is the right candidate for the job? Maybe somebody knows the Java, might not also again fit to be a right candidate for the job, right? So there might be few other skills or things that the hiring manager may be looking into. Maybe something like technical support along with that. So whatever as per the job description. So a few steps involved here in the selection process as well. So a few examples I would like to quote here. First could be the preliminary exams, and this could be a multi-questionnaire exams, or this could be IQ quotient exams, or any questionnaires that they may ask you to fill. So there will be preliminary exams just to test your technical skills for the job. Or there could be, once you pass that, or maybe in the initial stage itself, they might call you for virtual or in-person interview. So what is virtual and in-person? As the name says, virtual is online. So they might call you for a Skype call, or they might call you for a Google Meet or any online tools that they can use for the recruitment process, just to know you in person, know you, what skills and experience you have, because all the things that is there in the resume may or may not be true. So HR manager will first make it a point to take up a call with the candidate, maybe either face-to-face or maybe in virtual. After this, if you find that if a manager finds that you're good, they might ask you for a next level of discussion, wherein a few of other team members from the organization, like line manager, the director, might sit for a panel discussion. Now, a panel discussion need not be definitely stress level interview. So panel discussion depends on the director and the type of position that has been hired and the organization hierarchy. So a couple of factors that depends. But primarily the panel discussion is where the few managers will talk from their perspective. Basically, they'll ask questions from the things that they're expecting from you. For example, I might be from development, or I might have somebody who might be from testing. Or similarly, if I'm talking about a retail management, I might be from an inventory team, and I'll also have a marketing manager with me. That because he might have few questions. So that is the reason a panel sits to interview you. So that is called a panel discussion. Or after this, we might have a telephonic interview. This might be an initial round of interview, or this might also be in the middle. All depends on the recruitment structure. So in telephonic interview, they might initially ask you to talk a little bit about yourself and what technologies or process what are your experiences in the field, and since how long you have been in this field, and why you want to take up this job, or the XYZ questions may be asked. So all telephonic round might also be taken directly from a line manager who would not have time to meet you face to face. So they'll have this discussion with you that might go along with go long as 20 or 25 or maybe up to 40 minutes. So that depends on the interview panel. Or initially you might also get a questionnaire or group discussion. There are few jobs that are communication centric. So this kind of job would definitely need good communication. So group discussion is one of the form where recruiter can evaluate on your communication skills. Now there will be few questions here. When you talk about group discussion or brainstorming session, a topic will be given to you, isn't it? And you will be asked to talk for or against. So now few of freshers or graduates will have a lot of questions here, or they might have a few clarifications here. So should I go for side, or should I go for against side? Or shall I prepare? How can I prepare for the topics? What could be the topics? So usually for group discussion, as we all know, it's a general topics. Currently, what is happening around us, maybe in terms of politics, or maybe in terms of entertainment industry, or maybe in terms of stock market, or whatever it is. So it is always good to read and do your research, do your groundwork before you go to interview. Especially if you are called for a group discussion, be prepared with the current scenarios, whatever is happening. At least have 5 to 6 points in mind, and think that you're going to talk for it. I mean, in support of the topic. But in such kind of scenarios, it is always spontaneous. You never know. You might get a chance to be for or maybe be talk against. So if you know the 4 points, it's very easy to convert it to other side. So these are the few points to take note of when you talk about recruitment and selection process. Now there are various organizations, country specific and cross the border when their recruitment strategies may change, and these steps mentioned here, they might use interchangeably. So that depends on them. So proceeding to my next slide. So as a fresher, what you need to prepare when we talk about this job. So fundamentally, what you need to do is choose your desired field. It may not be very accurate that your entire life you're going to work in this field. That is completely okay. But choose a field which is most desired, in which field you have your compassion, right? So for example, now you might have been in retail management, or you are in a marketing. That doesn't mean you can't shift to human resources, or you can't make an effort to shift to information technology. So it's just that what you want, right? So basically you need to decide what you want, be clear, get your head straight, and after that you will have a couple of steps to follow. So how will you make your resume really good, right? When you talk about you're going for job interview or recruitment process. So as a HR manager or the person of hiring, why should I take your resume, and why should I basically invite you for interview? So there are a couple of basic steps that we need to get straight here. First thing is value add your field, or value add your resume and your experience. There are various fields to do this. There are online certifications and online course. There are few paid and there are few unpaid. But even if paid courses, trust me, this is going to go a long way. So take online courses whenever you get a chance. For example, if you're planning for HR or IT, there are a lot of online courses. And similarly, with inventory management, supply chain management, or marketing, there are one or the other related course that you have online, and to which you can research and find out, how important is that, and take that course online, because this is the right time that you can, take time to study it, at least the basic, right? So that will definitely add extra value for your resume. And how do you prepare resume, right? This is a detailed process. Even professionals who are in industry for 8 to 10 years will have mistakes in their resume, and this is very, very common scenario. So how to get your resume prepared and most of the things right. So resource person will talk about this in the second session. So keep your eyes open for this. After this, the next phase is marketing yourself, in the job portals or in social medias, or maybe you're giving for reference. So before you finalize your resume and market yourself, it's basically you are marketing yourself from your academics to the corporate. So when I market, right, I will give you a simple example. Now I am in a grocery store, or maybe now I'm in a pet store or anything, or let's take I'm in a gift shop. So there are a lot of products. So me as a buyer, I need to choose something. So I have pre-requirements, which products I want to choose, right? So obviously I will choose something that is favorable to me in terms of money, in terms of quality, and in terms of durability and everything. Similarly, as an HR or a recruitment person, why I should select your resume? It's a simple question, right? So things that I've mentioned here, value add your resume. For example, online courses that we spoke about. And after that, there are voluntary organizations. You can take part in a few of the voluntary organizations. Maybe you will not get money, but you will get experience. And trust me, this counts a lot, right? And after this, there are internship. There are few organizations, few startups that are offering you internship. It's an opportunity for you to learn. Never think about salary, never think about pay. Trust me, learn the things. Because in future, you're going to get paid for whatever skills that you acquire now. And this is fundamental thing. So learn. And after this comes the interview, right? Once you are all good with this, you'll definitely get a call, and HR managers or a HR associate might want to have an interview with you. So this is the fundamental questions. Again, a lot of people have many queries and doubts on this. So few aspects I'll mention here. There are a lot of things we can go on talking about this for an hour, but there are a few things that I would like to mention here. So first thing is dress and speak professionally, right? It's simple as that. Whenever you go for wedding, you dress up, right? Why? Not to impress girls, of course, or not to impress anybody, but you dress up. The reason is you're presenting yourself to a gathering, or maybe you're presenting yourself in front of the crowd, presenting yourself to your relatives or something. Similarly, here you're presenting yourself to the recruitment manager, who is face of the organization. So you're presenting yourself to them. So your body language counts, your eye contacts, and the impressions, and how good and clearly you talk, right? And how good vocabularies are you going to use in your words? There are always good English, average English, and more than average, best English. So try to get your English correct. Try to avoid as much as local slangs and words that are confusing. Always try to use professional words. Practice common interview questions. Now, when I say common interview question, it need not necessarily be where you want to see yourself in next 5 years, and why I should hire you, or what you know about the process. There could be other common interview questions as well. For example, one of the very, very fundamental question that you'll get is introduce about yourself, or can you talk about yourself, right? And whenever any HR or any HR manager or a specialist or line manager ask you this question, always you have to remember they are not interested to know about where you did your 12th grade, or maybe your highest qualification could be mentioned, but your personal interest and how many marks you have scored, maybe it is important aspect. But when they ask you to introduce yourself, things could not be that important to mention. Rather, if anybody asks me to introduce about mention, I'll mention my name, and I'll mention currently I've passed out of this institute as a MBA graduate, or maybe supply chain a management graduate, and I have done a research. Since the day when I took this course, I was pretty sure that I'm going to continue my career in this. And I have done my basic research. Each and every day I read about new trends in the market. And also I make sure to take a few notes from the news. And also I got an opportunity last summer where I have visited a company, and probably I got an internship opportunity to work for there maybe a month's time, and this has given me a strong base, and I'm very sure I can contribute better to the success of this company. So any thoughts or any statement like this will always put positive light on recruiter, rather than me saying that my personal hobbies are singing, dancing, and music. That is not important for them. So have these things in mind, and after that, first impression always matters, definitely. Try to make it a point to talk what is not mentioned in the resume. So like I mentioned, do not talk what is mentioned in the resume, because HR manager or HR specialist has seen your resume and they have already gone through the resume. So they have spent time on that, and they know what you did, and they know why you want to apply for this. But tell them something that is not mentioned in the resume, right? Tell them the effort that you took, to learn about the topic. Tell them about the company. You can make it a point to tell, I was very interested in this job role and this company, because this company is a Fortune 500 employment opportunity provider, and also this company has listed in Forbes or anything, or this got an award from this XYZ. So it would be always nice to learn from the mentors or industry experts. So that is the particular reason I'm interested, to start my career with this company. Mention something like that. Be diplomatic in your answer. All right. And show clear interest, of course, to learn and grow in the field. Okay, even if you're not interested, make it a point to show an interest whenever you talk to HR. Be lively and show interest. Tell them that you need this job. You're not just here because your friend asked you to go, or maybe any of your family member asked you to go for an interview. No, don't make that mistake. Always tell HR recruiter, this is what you want to do for sure, and this is why you're here. And I'm very sure with my attitude, skills, and knowledge, I'll definitely be able to take up this position and be a successful or key employee in your organization. Always make it a point to have a mock interview, maybe with your family members or maybe with your friends, or you can record your interview by yourself, just to check on the grammars and how better you can improve the language. And always learn from your mistakes. It is okay to be a failure. First interview you haven't cleared, or maybe up till fifth interview you haven't cleared. That is completely okay, because these interviews or these failures are giving you an opportunity to learn. You can take a note where you have gone wrong, what went wrong, where you can where you can improvise yourself. So take a note each and every time somebody says, we are not moving forward with your resume. That's completely okay. Come back and make a note, and just do your research. What went wrong? Which question did you answer wrong? What better could you have answered? And make sure that you will not make that mistake on your next interview. So what are the key for success? We spoke about key attributes, and we spoke about attitude. We also spoke about how the process works. But what are the key for success? Imagine that you're the winner and have the right attitude. So when I say right attitude, build your knowledge, improvise your knowledge. Whenever you get an opportunity, make it a point to acquire the knowledge from your lecturers and industry experts and your seniors, because they have been through the process and they have some knowledge. It is simple. Everybody don't know everything, but everybody knows at least something. So learn from them. Take a note, learn from whenever you get an opportunity to learn. You have mediums like YouTube, and you have LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very professional online tool that you can use to build your network. That's very, very important and vital. Even if you're not interested, send a note to somebody who's working as a recruiter in the organization. Talk, hey, how are you doing? How you've been working in your organization? I just completed my second year graduation or third year graduation. Very curious to understand how the process works. It is completely okay. They also feel very happy that this person is keen to know about the process, right? So these are certain ways to improvise yourself. And like we mentioned, or like we spoke earlier, just online tutorials are there, part-time courses. internship, and college fests are very important. This will boost your confidence level, improvise your communication and your interpersonal skills and time management. So whenever your college organizes a fest, always make it a point to take a part. Always make a point to take initiative. Your lecturer might ask you, these are the marketing programs that we're going to finalize. I want somebody to take a lead. Always be a friend to take a lead, because these are the opportunities that will never come again. Okay, take a lead, go through it. Even if you don't know anything, that's completely okay. Take a lead, be through the process, understand that this is going to just improve your knowledge, and it's only for good of yours, right? Build your networks, like I mentioned. So we have a lot of social medias, friends and relatives around, our seniors, community blogs, right? There are a lot of resources around if you want to learn. Build your knowledge, stay up to date, stay hungry, never settle for less, right? So what I personally believe is each and everybody of you and each and every one of you have some potentials. Each and every person who's attending this conference today have one or the other talent in you. Maybe you're not a good communicator, but maybe you have a subject knowledge. Maybe you are not good communicator, maybe you don't have subject knowledge, but you have an interest to learn, right? You want to learn about it, or maybe you want to learn from your mentor, or maybe your lecturer, or maybe you're not good in subjects, or maybe you're good in co-curriculars. Who knows? Co-curriculars might also take you to a level of your career. There are a lot of careers that is associated with your co-curriculars also. So never underestimate anything. Take everything positively and learn from it. And stay humble and thankful. And this one quality you always need to build when you're in corporate, because tomorrow when you enter the corporate, you're going to meet people who will talk about you, who will talk behind you, who will give you more work, or who might not be personally good with you. You're definitely going to meet these people, but you need to know and understand and prioritize your work, right? Just because your manager or your director, somebody says that it's excellent job, oh, very nice, you have done very good, that doesn't mean you have to put in all extra efforts to do that and put in extra time. Maybe if your job is like till 4 or 5, you are doing it till 7. No, if you work like that, they're always going to give you more responsibilities. So you need to be smart, understand when you have to learn, what you have to learn, and if any new contents that you get where you have an opportunity to learn something that you can put in your resume, then definitely learn. Okay, so inspiration is all around us and within us, right? So in my personal example, in my college days and in my graduation days, all my lecturers would probably know, right? They have been scolding me and the college, and once I entered the corporate world, I figured out, and inspiration came with me. So, and it is not important to be extraordinary in, like I mentioned, communicator, genius in academics. Fundamentally, have faith in yourself, and all your struggle will pay off. So let's understand a few things about global recruitment. So we spoke about local recruitment. Similarly, the process, much of the process and steps or strategies will be the same, but it's only that international recruitment specializes to hire people across the globe. 4 main elements will be there of global recruitment. That's good to know. It is ethnocentric, polycentric, geocentric, and regiocentric. And it's self-explanatory, and you can also Google about these terms. Ethnocentric means something that hiring a candidate from a parent country to work in the host country. Parent country is somewhere the companies originated, right? From hiring resource from them to work in the host country, because there will be few skills and qualities that might be present in the parent country resource, and the same process being implemented in the host country. So you're going to just shift or hire people from parent country. Then polycentric approach comes, wherein local resource is hired to work in a host location. For example, I have a company in Bangalore, and I'm hiring somebody to work in the US, because all the process projects and timelines and skill set needed is all based from the local team. So I might find it budgetary to hire someone from local and ask them to work there. Geocentric, this is the most commonly used approach in a global recruitment, where selecting the best fit of a candidate irrespective of geographical boundary. And of course, this is subject to budget and cultural differences, and also language competitions and so on. So few benefits would be the increased talent pool and good quality of hire, good future competitive advantage, and good success management. But few demerits, if you want to talk about, could be probably imbalance, cultural imbalance, like we mentioned, hindrance in communication, budget and timeline problem, because usually the global recruitment process would take double time of the local recruitment process. So moving on to the next slide, very, very important slide. I would like everybody to just take a note. Though there are few of the fields, I mean, today's market is enormous. There are so many untapped opportunities out there. So I have mentioned few of the fields that could be relevant or maybe important to you, right? First of all, information technology. We have big data, which is taking over Tableau. These are two tools that will be used for the data management. And when you present the data, they'll just calculate from the backend, and it's a very good tool to use and understand. Of course, Java and DevOps is a very trending tool that you can learn. Oracle, Python, and AWS from Amazon. Right? Retail chain and supply chain management. Trust me, retail and supply chain management has a huge demand in English-speaking countries, especially in US and Canada, right? Because a lot of things here is of manufacturing. So you have a very potential market for logistic associate, store supervisors, data analysts, for inventory data analysts, or maybe product data analysts, production and inventory manager. There are n number of opportunities. So just you can take down a note of the fields mentioned here and Google about the opportunities available. Human resource opportunities. There are a lot of functions that works within human resources. So it's very important to understand that. So we have a talent acquisition or recruitment and onboarding team. Then HR generalist team works after the resources hired. They might have few questions about the process, so HR generalist will take care of that. Learning and development team, and compensation benefits team. And we have also employee relations and few other teams. Then comes the marketing. Content and social media marketing is very trending opportunity right now. This has very potential and a good market in India as well as abroad. So, try to research about this content and social media marketing. And retail management and customer segment associate, like I mentioned, is very, very fundamental segment that works here, and you can probably tap into this as well. B2B and B2B consultants. And automation and artificial intelligence. This is entirely changing the way the people work. It's changing the perspective of entire IT industry. Automation is not totally into writing codes or supporting your production or anything. It is just basically working on, these are the tools: Blue Prism, UiPath, Automation Anywhere, Selenium. These are the tools. For example, UiPath, if I have to take as an example, it's a free course. Right? You have to just Google about UiPath, go there. It's a free course. Take time to learn that. So Blue Prism, and based on your interest, you can learn these courses. And artificial intelligence and machine learning is, of course, is pretty much more work on algorithms and few complex tools. But if anybody who's interested to learn it, probably work on this. Business analyst, of course, business analyst is a bridging gap between developers and stakeholders. Basically, if I want something to happen in a business and maybe a change management or something that needs to be taken place as a new project we are hiring. So first things, or all input goes to business analyst, who in turn communicates. He prepares all charts, draft. He analyzes what needs to be done, when and how it needs to be done, and once a final plan is communicated well, and that will be in turn communicated to the development or IT team. Then healthcare services, of course, nursing, biomedicals, pedestrians, pediatricians, and neuropathicians, radiologists. These are the few fields that can still be tapped. SDM has a numerous opportunity for the people who want to work in healthcare service providing. And legal profession, one of the highly paid jobs here in Canada, legal profession, criminal and criminology, civil, corporate tax lawyers, and chartered accountants. Right? These are the very good profession you can tap into or learn more about. And finally, entrepreneurs, right? So all these fields that you have to learn, and you will work for somebody else, and you have to work on technologies, you have to put some effort. And people who are ready to take risk, of course, you have to go in. When I talk about risk, it could be financial risk, or it could be rewards that you expect, and it could also be in terms of hiring employees. So all the risk you have to take by yourself. All the decisions, there will be no supporting team to encourage you or anything. Or you might hire your own team. You'll be your boss basically. So for a few enthusiasts or few confident people out there want to be an entrepreneur, yes, this is the right time to have for your opportunity on that as well. So with that, I conclude my section, and I would also like to thank for this opportunity. And you will shortly hear from the resource person next, who is Tanmay, and I'll hand it over to Tanmay now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sandesh. But the information what you gave definitely will help all the students to shape their career. At least they got to know that how they can develop themselves, or how they can prepare themselves to get into a bigger platform. So that's some great information from you. I'm very thankful to you for giving that information. Now, I again request Dr. Nagendra to welcome the resource person, that is Ms. Tanmay Hegde. Sir, over to you.
I'm very mesmerized today to have Ms. Tanmay Hegde with us as resource person. She did WES Canadian Equivalency Master Degree and MBA from Bharat Darshan University in 2014. Her professional experience includes in IDC Technologies Solutions as IT recruiter, and Intercon International Private Limited in that as consultant in Human Resource Department, and in Deloitte Support Services Private Limited as analyst, and then in Beachhead Professional Services as recruitment associate. At present, she is working as a talent acquisition consultant at Her Power Incorporation, Canada. So she's having a vast experience and expertise in recruitment and related assignments. Let us welcome Ms. Tanmay Hegde. Ms. Tanmay Hegde, it's so good to have you with us today, because you have vast experience and expertise, and you're going to enlighten our students' knowledge and all of us. Many thanks, and it's over to you, man. Thank you.
Thank you for such an amazing introduction, Dr. Nagendra. And thank you, Sandesh, for shedding some light on the topic. I hope I can top that. Good morning, everyone. Today, I have an opportunity to speak about global recruitment strategies used in corporate world. Let's go through the agenda real quick. I'm going to share my screen. Please let me know when you can see it. Firstly, can you all hear me okay?
Yes, it's audible.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So let's go through the agenda real quick. I'm going to talk about the steps involved in global recruitment process. I'll talk about how should one apply for a job in order to get selected and finally get hired for a particular role. Okay. There are basically, there are basically 4 steps we look into and discuss each one of them in depth. The first one is resume, the second one is job boards, interview, and the last one is hiring. So let's start with the first slide, which is the resume writing. This is probably one of the most important steps in the process. Now is the time, if you're in the final year and you're ready to look for a job, you're actively looking for a job, get your resumes ready. Make sure the format you use is simple, consistent, in design, font sizing, and spacing. That is actually very important. The next one is content. In the content, you can include your, you should include your contact information and also your email address in the top of your resume. The second one is objective. It's totally up to you. If you want to include your objective, you can. If you don't want to, it's totally fine. We don't look at it anyways. None of the recruiters look at it. But if you want to include it, make sure it's relevant to the job you are applying for. Okay. The next one is references. So I've seen a lot of candidates include references in their resumes. Recruiters do not need that in your resume. They don't need it. If you get hired for a specific role, we ask for your references then. Your background check and your references are done in the later point of the hiring process. You don't have to include your references in your resume. Okay. And the length of the resume. I cannot stress on this enough. Resume means it's supposed to be 1 or 2 pages. That's what resume means. CV is for professional lawyers or doctors or somebody who has about 20 plus years of experience. They write CVs. It could be more than 2 pages, but resume has to be 1 or 2 pages, not more than that. The next one is customization of your resume. Okay. I've also seen, not just I used to do this too, and I see this on a daily basis. Candidates only have 1 resume. What they do is they take that resume and apply to 100 jobs that they see online. Don't do that. Please customize your resume. When I say customize your resume, what you need to do is go through the job description and take some keywords from the job description. For example, if you're looking at human resources job, if you want to be a recruiter in your future, what you do is take some keywords from the job description and then put that in your resume, customize your resume. And similarly, if you're applying for different roles like finance or procurement and things like that, take the keywords, put it in your resume, and then you apply for a job. Do not apply without customizing your resume. So please have 2 or 3 resumes ready based on what job you're applying for. Okay. The next one is job description. A lot of candidates come for an interview without going through the job description. That's the biggest mistake you can make. Once you have customized your resume, do not forget to go through the job description. Know the role and what basically company is looking for. The main reason the job description is posted so that candidates know what the company is looking for and candidates know what is expected out of them, the roles and responsibilities you will be handling once you're hired for the job. So going through the job description is the most important thing. And also nowadays, when I started my career 7 years ago, there was no ATS. ATS is basically applicant tracking system. Now we have something called ATS that helps us shortlist resumes. We don't have to. Initially, I used to go through all the resumes which was in the job pool. So if the job pool had about 50 resumes, I used to go through each and every resumes and then shortlist top 10 candidates who would come in for an interview. But now that ATS is in picture, I don't have to do that anymore. ATS does that for me. So yeah, that is why I'm mentioning. That is why I'm requesting you guys to put in the keywords, go to the job description, take the keywords from there and put it in your resume so that the ATS picks your resume for that specific job. Last but not the least is please check for typos. Please double or triple check for typos. Do not make any grammatical mistakes or have any typos in your resume. The next important topic is job boards. After you've gone through the, once you've made your resume, you've gone through the job description and customized your resume, the next step is you're putting your resumes in the job board. Please register and put your resume on top 5 to 7 job boards available out there. I personally used Naukri, Monster when I was sourcing for candidates here in India. Now I use Indeed, LinkedIn, and Monster when I'm looking for candidates in Canada. Once you've registered in any of the job boards, for example, you've registered in Indeed and you've started applying for jobs, the next step, what you have to do is update your resume. When I say updation, every 2 to 3 days, what you do is go to your profile, edit your profile, put in any small information. What you could do is edit your name or a single letter, erase it and put the same thing again and save. What this will do is it will push your resume to the top. What recruiters do is once we have a specific role, we go to Indeed or any other job boards like Monster or Naukri and look for resumes online. If you have edited your resume 1 month ago, we do not have time to go through all 50 or 100 resumes that are available in the job board. We only look at top 10 or 15. We'll find resumes or good candidates in those top 10 or 15. So if you want to be shortlisted, you will have to edit your profile and save in the job board so that your resume comes on top and your resume is picked through a recruiter hiring for that role. Okay, that is called refreshing or updating your profile. Okay, once you've done that, if you are actively looking for a job, I would ask you to use the 5-25-100 grind process. What this is, I'm sure you've heard this for the first time. What this is apply for 5 jobs every day. If you're actively looking for a job, you need to follow this. Apply for 5 jobs every day, 25 jobs every week, and 100 jobs every month. I know it sounds crazy, 100 jobs per month is too much, but do as much as you can. Do the best you can and submit as many as possible. Recruitment is a total number game. You cannot just apply for 3 or 4 positions per month and say that probably I'll get a call for one of the resumes I've submitted. That does not happen like that. It's a pure number game. You have to keep applying. You have to be diligent. You have to. When I was looking for a job, I remember soon after my graduation, I must have applied for about 1,000 positions in 2 to 3 months. That's how many jobs I applied for, and I probably got about 3 or 4 calls, and that's pretty much it. So it's a pure number game. Please apply to as many jobs as you see that is relevant to your field. The next one is once you've applied for the jobs that are available online, you could also subscribe to job alerts. So in Indeed or Monster or LinkedIn for that matter, when you scroll down, you see a section called subscribe or activate job alerts. What this will do is help you get notified when there's a new job posted in Indeed or Monster. So you don't have to go every day to check on Indeed if there are any new jobs posted. That the Indeed job alert will do that for you. It will send you notification to your email address. What you just have to do is log in and then apply for the newest job that is posted. This one is really helpful. Please subscribe. It's free, and yeah, please do subscribe to it. The last one is being active on LinkedIn. So in today's time and world, networking is so important. There's no other way to speed up your job search process than having your resume go directly to the right person. It could be the recruiter or the hiring manager. LinkedIn is such a strong tool where you can network or ask for referrals and get in touch with the recruiter directly who is hiring for that specific role. So I would urge you guys to create a LinkedIn profile if you have not already, and please be active on LinkedIn. And keep your LinkedIn profile up to date. Fill in all the informations like your education or the projects you worked on, or if you have any experience, put that in, but please keep your LinkedIn profile up to date. And do not forget to put your picture in LinkedIn. It's okay if you do not have the picture in your resume. In Canada and India, I don't think recruiters look for your pictures in your resume. Having said that, there are other countries where your picture is important in a resume, like any GCC countries, any Gulf country. If you're applying for positions in UAE or Bahrain or any other GCC countries, I know your photo is important in your resume, but not in India or Canada or US. But please put your please put your picture in LinkedIn. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Once you have applied for multiple positions through multiple job boards, the next step is interview. This is also one of the most important steps. It could be an initial phone round, telephonic round, or face-to-face round, depending on what role you've applied for. I personally, as a recruiter, have mostly taken initial phone interviews and then shortlisted candidates who were called in for a face-to-face round with a hiring manager or any other management member. Depending on the company, there could be various roles. You could have 1 to 3 rounds, or some other companies have multiple other rounds. It could be more than 3 to 6 rounds. It could be all telephonic or through Skype or face-to-face. Okay, so now that we have spoken about interview, let's talk about a few do's and don'ts. The first one I'm going to talk about is tell me about yourself. This is one of the most common questions probably you'll get asked. You'll definitely get asked this question. I will let you know how to answer this. When a recruiter or a hiring manager asks you this question, what they want to know is how confident you are, how well can you communicate, and he's also looking at your interpersonal skills. This answer will definitely decide if the interviewer is interested to listen to rest of your interview, or how you answer, or he will just pretend to be interested in what you're saying. So I think this is one of the most important questions, and you should know how to answer this. So how do you actually answer the question? I will let you know how. The first line should summarize your experience or your education while you define your personality. Keep it strictly professional and to the point. I'm guessing everyone here is a fresher and do not have any prior work experience in hand. As a student, you can say, for example, hi, I'm Tanmay. I'm a hardworking individual. I'm an engineering graduate, specialized in computer science engineering, with an overall CGPA of so and so forth. You could do that. Next, you talk about your accomplishments plus proof of performance. For example, you can talk about the trainings you have received or any projects you have worked on, which is related to the job you are applying for. Please always talk. Please always talk in link with the job you are applying for. Go through the job description and link it. I remember one of my candidates answered to this question. I still remember it because he answered it beautifully. He was also a fresher, and he said the project I worked for in my final year helped me know how the corporates recruit individuals. The steps involved in recruitment and developing the JD, how you post the JD online, how you screen candidates and shortlist candidates. He said during this project, I also learned that I'm a detail-oriented person and a team player. You see how it is crisp and to the point. That's what you need to do. The last element to this is how you are a fit for this job. This you should include this in tell me about yourself question. What you could say is you could end your answer by telling them you are applying for this role because you've read through the job description carefully, and it totally aligns with your answer and your career, what you're looking for, what your interests are. It totally aligns with that. That is the reason you're applying for this job. So to answer all this question, tell me about yourself, you have about 1 minute. Please do not bore the interviewer. Keep it simple, crisp, and to the point. Next, I'm going to talk about tips and tricks that I've learned throughout my career of 7 years being in recruitment. What are some of the do's and don'ts for this question? The first one is, please be early. I always tell my candidates that if you're on time, you're late. Please be at least 15 minutes early to the interview. The second one is, be confident. If you've gone through the job description, if you've done your research, if you know about the company, if you've read through your resume, you will be confident. So do all these things. And the third thing is, maintain eye contact. I cannot stress on this enough. I've taken interviews where the candidate is looking somewhere else, and that only makes us disinterested in the interview. Please always maintain eye contact. That also proves my second point of you being confident. So maintain eye contact. And please show some interest in the interview, even if the role is not what you're looking for, or if you do not want to work for the company, you've just come for the interview to gain experience. Still, show some show some interest in the interview. Listen carefully to all the comments or questions the interviewer asks you, and definitely show interest. And the last tip or trick is, take your time. Do not take a lot of time. We ask you the first question. If you're not answering that question, we move to the second one, and you say, now I know the answer for the first question. Can I answer that? No, don't. You cannot take so much time. But take, when I say take time, take a few seconds to think about what the interviewer has asked you, and take your time to breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Okay. Before I go to the next slide, I would also want to talk about don'ts. What are a few of the don'ts you should do an interview? You'd actually keep in mind for not to do in an interview. Do not talk about your personal or your family life. So the interviewer might get a little friendly with you to break the ice. Maybe if you're nervous, they might talk about a few off topics, like, did you get here okay, or have you watched the match yesterday night, and things like that, just to break the ice and make you feel comfortable. When they do that, do not get too comfortable and talk about your personal life or your family life. Family life. When I've done that in the past, I've had a candidate who said things like, "We are 5 people in the family. My dad, mom, my younger sister is in the 8th standard, my older sister." No, don't do that. Don't get too comfortable, and don't be overconfident. While talking about your achievements or things you've done in your college or project or training, don't get overconfident about it. Do not say things like, I'm the best salesperson in the whole entire world, and things like that. Do not say that. That will not just show how arrogant you are. It will also say how ignorant you are. Okay. The second question you might get asked is, what are your strengths? So this is the next common question. I normally ask to my candidates. With this question, what we are looking at is how positive you are. There's no right or wrong answer wrong answer to this question, but do not answer in one-liners. When I ask you what are your strengths, don't just say that I'm a people person and that's it. Explain. You can say multiple things and use positive adjectives. For example, I'm a very detail-oriented person. I'm very organized. I also have organized and planned I also like organizing and planning my tasks, my day-to-day tasks. Even in college, because I'm an outgoing personality, many people have told me that I'm very approachable. See, it talks about how confident you are, and it talks so positively about you. This is how you need to answer what are your strengths. The third most common question asked is what are your weaknesses? The common questions I've listed here is based on the experiences, based on my experiences. These are the questions I definitely ask my candidates, and these are the questions that I have been asked when I go for an interview. So I've listed these ones. Yeah, so the third most question is what are your weaknesses? Now here you do not have to be very negative about yourself. What you have to do is you have to try and say good things which can benefit the organization. That's how you answer this question. For example, you could say, I'm a very detail-oriented person. I proofread my emails not once, but multiple times before sending it. People might think that this is a waste of time, but I like to be very particular and make minimum mistakes. See how this is, this talks so positively about you, but you're portraying that this is your weakness. But in turn, it's an advantage to the company because you're proofreading your emails so many times. This is how you answer this question to what are your weaknesses. What are some don'ts under this? Do not say, when somebody asks you what are your weaknesses, do not, as I mentioned, do not be very negative. Do not say things like I'm very impatient, or I'm short-tempered, or I don't like working in a team. I'm better as an individual contributor. I don't like working in a team. Don't say things like that. It's very negative. That might lead to your rejection right away. So the next one is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is another common question that I ask and I get asked. With this question, we are trying to see how committed you are to the company. If we hire you, we have gone through all the pain of hiring you, paying you, and training you. Once you join, we do not want you to live in 6 months. So with this question, we are just trying to know how committed or how long will you stay in the company. So how do you answer this question is, I would like to grow within the company. I would like to stay and gain practical experience and learn from my teammates and grow up the ladder in the company. This is how you answer this question. Some don'ts for this question are, don't say things like, I don't know what will I do tomorrow. You're asking me about what will I do in 5 years. No, don't say that. Or don't be too overconfident and say things like, in 5 years I want to be the CEO of this company, which is not very practical, right? Don't say things like that. If you say I want to be the CEO, or I want to be the VP of the company, firstly, it's not very practical, and secondly, it's very delusional of you. So yeah, don't say such things. The next question is, why do you want to work for us? Not all the companies ask this, but I personally ask all of my candidates this. Probably when I have attended, or my colleagues I know of, probably 1 or 2 only have been asked this question. Not everybody asks this question, but if you're asked, I'll let you know how to answer this question. So you could be asked, why us? What do you think? What do you know about this company? Why do you want to work for us? There are various such as other companies in the market who are in the same field. Why do you want to choose us over them? The best way to answer this question is by doing your own research. go online, learn about the company, when and where the company was founded, who's the CEO of the company, where's the headquarters, what is the revenue they made last year, things like that. Also talk about the positive reviews. I personally do this. Talk about the positive reviews you've seen online in Google or Glassdoor for this company, left by their current or previous employees. Next one is some don'ts for what you should not say when you are asked why do you want to work for us. Don't say things like that. Things like it's such a big company. I've always wanted to work for a Fortune 500 company, or I've always wanted to work for a company which has more than 10,000 employees. Yeah, don't say that. Or I've heard a candidate say that, a fresher actually. I've had a fresher say that I just completed my graduation, and soon after graduation, what you do is get a job, right? That's why I'm here. Don't say things like that. Show a genuine interest in the interview you are attending. Well, some tips and tricks I can give you based on my experiences. Be prepared for the interview. Do your research. I personally would sit in front of a mirror, answer all the common questions that might be asked. I do that every time I have to attend an interview. I just sit in front of the mirror and go through all the questions and answer to myself. It builds my confidence. I'm not saying you should do that, but look for a way that helps you answer all the questions or be confident. Yeah, the second one is go through the JD. I cannot say this enough. I've had candidates who know nothing about the JD, who have not read about the job description at all. They've just submitted the resume. For example, I've had a candidate who came in for a financial analyst position, who he nicely tweaked his resume to be a financial analyst, but his experience and education was in HR, and he was linking all the answers to HR. Of course, as a recruiter for so many years, I could sense that he has no experience in financial analysis at all. Even if you don't, do your research, talk to somebody who is working in that field, gain knowledge before coming into an interview. Do not just walk in and know nothing about the roles and responsibilities that we are looking for. The next one is wear formal clothes. Please wear formals while attending an interview. Never wear jeans, strong perfume, too many accessories, headphones. That happens. I've seen so many candidates walk in with headphones, and such big headphones. It is not very professional. Don't do that. And do not wear loud makeup. Keep it simple, and keep it formal. Keep it 100% professional. Okay. The next tip I can give you is try and answer all the questions, preferably with an example or experiences. Do not say, I do not know the answer to the question. Try and say something. This shows that you don't give up easily. Even if you do not have any experience, or you have not come across this question, it's fine. It's fine. Try and say something. If you're not able to be honest, tell them that you have not come across this question or this experience before, but you'll try and learn on the job. Say something like, I'm a quick learner. Once I'm hired, once I have enough experience, I'm sure I'll do well, and things like that. Do not just leave the question blank without answering it. The one more trick I actually got to know from my senior, when I was attending an interview, she told me, if you do not know any answer to the question, or if you need time, ask the interviewer to repeat the question. When they're repeating the question, you already know the question, you've heard it the first time, but you're just buying time to think a few points to answer the question. This is one of the best tricks I've learned from my senior. You could use that too. Yeah. Okay. So the last thing is when you're done with your interview, your interviewer might also ask you if you have any questions for them. Most of the interviewers will ask you this. This typically does not happen on a phone interview. This only happens in a face-to-face round. Once your interview is done, once you've gone through the job description, once you've gone through all the roles and responsibilities, and they've asked you all the questions they have for you, in the end, the interviewer may ask you if you have any questions for them. When he or she asks you this, never say no. Please never say no. Have your questions ready. You can ask things like, how will I grow in the company? What are the challenges I can face in this role? What do you as a manager expect from me in the first 3 to 6 months, etc. and things like that. You could come up with a few questions you want to ask. You could also Google them. There are a lot of questions you see in Google, but please ask 2 to 4 questions. I would say that's a sweet spot. That's a good number. Do not ask more than 4 to 5 questions. Yeah, 2 to 4, I would say, is a good spot, but do ask questions. Okay, so let's go to the next slide now. How important do you think your posture is? Posture or your body language? I have a few pictures here that shows you how not to sit. I mean, the first one is a little extreme, but I've put it there anyways. You never know, right, what kind of candidates you see. Yeah, the first one is a big no-no. The second one is he's sitting on the edge. That shows how nervous you are when you're attending an interview. Don't do that. Yeah, the third one shows you're too comfortable. She is leaning back and so relaxed. This is an interview, as I mentioned earlier. Please be professional. Don't just relax and don't sit as if you're sitting in a party or you're sitting in front of a close friend of yours. This is still a professional space. Keep that in mind. The fourth picture is he's resting his chin on his hands. Don't do that. Again, it shows you're fidgeting or you're nervous, you're not very confident, and things like that. The next one is a picture where the man is slouching. Again, slouching basically means you have no interest in the interview. Say whatever, do whatever, I don't care. Probably your parents have pushed you, or it's been a long time you've not got a job and you're not interested to do these kind of job. You're just attending for the heck of it. That's what this picture says. Don't slouch. Okay. The last one is where this lady is crossed her hands. So this shows that she is extremely overconfident. Don't do that. These 6 pictures, keep it in mind. Don't do any of these. So what exactly should you do? How should your body posture or body language should be? These are the 2 good examples. You could put your hand up. You could put your hands on the table. I'm sorry. Yeah, you could put your hands on the table, be professional. The first picture is actually shows that he's confident and he's comfortable with the interview. Or the second picture, you could put your hands down. You could place your hands on your thighs, not on the table. That is fine too. These 2 are good postures or good body language to when you're attending an interview. Okay, so the next one is. You've cleared all the rounds so far, and congratulations, you've made it. You might, at this point, you might get a call from your hiring manager or your HR saying that you've cleared all the process. The hiring manager and the recruiter have enjoyed speaking to you. We would like to offer you this position. Congratulations, and we'll be sending you the offer letter. Please sign and send it back to you. Send it back to us. You might get this call. Now, they will, at this point, they will ask for your references. You do not have to put it in your resume, as I mentioned earlier. At this point is when we ask for your references. They will also ask for your expected salary. Now is the time when you negotiate your salary. This question would have come up before or during the initial phone round. when the first round happens, if it's a telephonic round, the HR, the recruiter will actually call you and ask you for your expected salary range. This is what we are offering. If you're okay with that, even if you have said any number, then you could change it. You could say things like, I thought it would be. It would be a different, I thought the roles and responsibilities were different. Now that I've spoken to the hiring manager, I know that the roles and responsibilities are much higher. That's why the number I quoted before is not enough. It's okay to negotiate your salary. Be confident, it's okay. Everybody negotiates, and you're worth every penny. So please negotiate your salary. So once you've done that, there are a few points you should keep in mind. The first one is do your research. Please do your research on what market is offering for this kind of role, for the same role you apply for, what the market is offering for such roles. Do that. And when the HR asks you what number do you have in mind, do not just say I'm open or I'll take whatever you give me. Say a number, negotiate based on that. The reason I'm saying this is most of the employees, only 30% of people negotiate their salaries with the HR. Let's just accept what they're offered. Do not make this mistake. Know your worth. Do your research. Do not get underpaid. You deserve every penny you ask. Be confident in yourself. I cannot stress on this enough. Be confident in yourself. Negotiate. It is totally fine, but be reasonable. You cannot be offered an analyst or assistant position, and you cannot ask for a manager or CEO salary. You can't do that. Be reasonable. Few of the reasons why candidates are scared to negotiate their salary are, I've had candidates who tell me that the hiring manager or the recruiter probably will think that I'm greedy, or will think less of me if I negotiate, they might rescind my offer. They might take back my offer. Honestly, in my 7 years of recruitment career, I've never seen that happen. Companies will not rescind your offer just because you've negotiated. You're negotiating because you know what your worth is. You know you're being underpaid. If you just say, I'll take whatever the market standard is, I'll take whatever you guys have to offer me, there's a good chance that big companies don't do that, like MNCs or top tier 1, tier 2 companies don't do that. But there are some companies who take advantage of that. When you say, offer me anything you want, they might offer you less. Yeah, that's the reason I'm saying negotiate. One of the main fears candidates have is they could take back my offer, or they could rescind my offer. We have gone through so much. We have taken so many rounds of interviews. We have invested so much time in you. We have liked you for this role and chosen you out of so many applicants. We would not want to lose you just because you've negotiated your salary. So please negotiate. Okay. The next step in the hiring process is reference check. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the time we ask for your references. We ask for 2 to 3 references from you. If you're experienced, we ask for your managers or the information of the person you are reporting to. If you're a student, then we do not prefer your classmates or your peer members' contact information. You could give your professors or one of your friends who is already working for a corporate. You could give one of their contact information. Please do not include any of our family members as your reference. We know one of your family members will only have good things to say about you. Not that we want to hear any bad things people have to say about you, but family members are biased towards you, right? They will only focus on good and great things about you. So no family members, please. Okay, so the next step is also important. Once you've given your reference, please keep your references informed. Let them know that they will get a call from so-and-so company, so that I mean, the recruiter does not, or the HR does not have to go back and forth with you to get in touch with your references. Yeah, please keep your references informed. Having said that, also you have to be available. That's my next point. Once you've been offered the job, we will start your background check and reference checks. Please try and be available on phone or email. Especially during the working hours, 9 to 6 or 9 to 5, when during the corporate working hours, at least then try and be available. If you have any questions, if we have any questions or concerns, we will get in touch with you immediately. If you're not available, that's fine. What you could do is, when you are available to talk or email, you could write us an email or ping saying that this is the best time I could be reached at. I'm sorry for the inconvenience and things like that. Let us know the best time to reach you, so that the process is not delayed any further. Okay. This is it. So these are the steps involved in the hiring process, from resume writing to getting hired in a company. I just hope this was helpful. Now, before I open the floor to any questions, I would also like to mention about the Canadian market, how I immigrated to Canada. I basically immigrated to Canada on a PR. PR is a permanent residency card. It's just like a green card. In US, you have green card, and in Canada, you have PR card. To be eligible under this route, you must have completed your master's and have substantial work experience in hand. You must have also written your IELTS exam. IELTS, I think for Canada, it's IELTS. For US, I think it's TOEFL. It's to judge your English and communication skills. This is based on the PR is purely based on point system. All these criteria are measured, and each division carries points. For example, your education, your IELTS scores, and your experience, etc. And each division carries point. For example, if your education may carry you 50 points, your experience may carry you 50 points. All these points are put together and seen against the Canadian government cutoff score. I believe right now it's about 450 or 460. This process is called express entry, through which you can enter the country and get a PR card directly. And the score is called the CRS score, which is Comprehensive Ranking System. This is one of the ways you can get into the country, which is PR. The second one is PNP, Provincial Nominee Program. Provinces are basically states. We call it states in India, and in Canada it's commonly known as province. Provinces have different needs and job openings. Every province will open a pool and let people know that they need these particular skills. For example, if they are not able to find project managers in their own province, they will open a few roles for people outside the country, and you can apply for this role with your experience and education and other criteria that is required. And then if you're shortlisted, they will give you a PR card directly, but you have to land in that specific province, and you have to work in that specific province for a few years at least. This is actually this normally happens only for niche skills. Common skills or skills that are easily available in the market, we don't see a PNP program being open for those ones. This only happens if the roles are difficult to be filled, or the market do not have a lot of that specific skill people. The last one is student visa. So you can also come into the country as a student. There are different colleges you can apply to. If you're shortlisted, they'll send you the student visa. You can come there, study for a few years, and then you can apply for your open work permit. You can work for open work permit is basically you can work for any employer. There's no restrictions on that. Once you're on open work permit, you work for 2 years, and then you can apply for for your PR. The best part about Canada is you don't have to wait for years and years to get your citizenship. Once you get your PR, you just have to wait for 3 years to be a citizen. Yeah, and the Canadian market has so many job opportunities. It's such a big country, and the population is only 40 million. And it's the most population in Canada is aging population. That's why they're opening up their market to so many outsiders. That's why the immigration is so hot in Canada right now. Of course, the pandemic has affected us too, the Canadian market too. But honestly, compared to last year when there was no hiring happening at all, last year towards March or April, there was no hiring happening at all. As a recruiter, I know the market was super dull, but it's picking up. It's much better now. I see there are roles opening up. I mean, I am busy. We are hiring for so many roles. In technical field or HR, accounting, finance, retail. Retail has a big market. I think retail, not just in Canada, in India as well, it has a big market. Yeah, apart from that, standard of living, people are just so amazing in Canada. You also get medical benefits and things like that. All these things make worth living there. Okay, so that's it. I'm done talking about Canada. Before I open for question and answers, I would like to thank a few people. This has been a great experience for sure. You guys have been amazing. Thank you. I would like to thank Dr. Satish Chandra, Principal of SDM College Ujire, and the management members for giving me this opportunity to speak in front of such bright and young people. I'm sure each one of you will make an impact in our society. I would also like to thank Ashwit, who not just convinced me to speak for this webinar, but also made me realize how important this can be for students who are not just, not just looking for jobs in this difficult pandemic situation, but also would help them in general, do's and don'ts and interviews and resume writing and things like that. When I was in college, nobody told me about this, and Ashwit mentioned the same thing. So yeah, we hope that this was helpful, and thank you, Ashwit, for convincing me for doing this and coordinating this event. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. I hope you guys did too. Wishing you all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you.
I would like to take a quick minute here, and I would also like to thank a few members of the committee, of the organization committee, the principal of SDM, and all my lecturers and current lecturers, and every person that made an effort to make this as a success. And I hope the inputs given by us are very helpful. Maybe in one or the other way it would help for you in your interview and in your future process. So my special thanks to my batchmate and my friend Ashwit, who has invited me today to talk about recruitment and selection. So thanks for the opportunity, Ashwit, and forever grateful for SDM. And for all the people who are attending this conference, I would like to just say sky is the limit. So keep going. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tanmay Hegde and also Mr. Sandesh. But Tanmay Hegde, to speak about your talk, it was really informative, and the main difference what it brought is that, like you said about the live personal experiences, what you had, which definitely will help the students to tackle this the so-called interview. So definitely they will adopt it, and I believe that all the students who are watching this definitely will adopt these concepts in their job hunting process, and I'm pretty sure that they will be the first person to tackle the interview and get selected for their dream companies. So having said that, so we have landed up to the most awaited time of the session, that is of course Q&A session, question and answer. I'm pretty sure most of the students will be eager to ask questions to our speakers, so that you can clear your doubts, queries, and fear, I can say. So it's open to you guys and girls. So we can start up asking the questions. So better you have option of raising the hand in this Google Meet. wherein you can raise your hand, and I'll try to handle this traffic and give the questions to the resource people one by one. So let's start, and the floor is open to you, guys and girls students. You can put up your questions, and they'll be happy to answer it. And also the people who are watching it through Facebook Live, I do understand you cannot ask questions over Facebook, but we have created a WhatsApp group where you can type your questions. Let me try to pick up as much as questions possible from it, and let me try to put it for the resource people from your end. So having said that, it's over to you, students. You can clear off your queries from them. Thank you.
So guys, if you have any questions, do not hesitate. This is your time. Be confident. No question is stupid, and no question is really out of the box. So feel free. Go ahead. This is the time. This is an opportunity. Like I mentioned earlier, grab it with both hands. Any questions you have, it's welcome. Feel free. And if you are really confident to talk in English, regional language is also fine. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, that's what. Who's that? Please tell your name and the college, if possible, and post your question. And I suggest all other members just try to ask the questions orally rather than typing a message, because it takes a little effort to read the messages. Better you can orally ask. So first question is coming from. Can I know the name of some lady who's trying to? Yeah.
I'm Diksha. I'm Diksha from first year B.Voc Retail and Supply Chain Management.
Go ahead, Diksha.
Sir, my first question is, if we are well prepared for the interview and having a good skill, and also we have a confidence in ourselves, to chance of a getting job for us is more. But still we will have a fear within us when we sit in front of an interview panel. Why so, sir? How to overcome that situation, sir?
Diksha, firstly, that's a great question. I love it. Okay, so you know everything about the job description. You've read about the company. You're confident. You have good. You were good in your college. You have good scores and things like that. But still you're scared. Why this happens and why to overcome that, I will let you know. Firstly, know that this feeling is normal. Everyone goes through it. It's a very normal feeling, and the answer is fear. Okay. Fear of unknown, fear of getting rejected, fear of being judged, fear of not knowing if you will land up this job or not. What if I say something wrong? What if I'm sounding stupid? The main cause is fear. This is natural. Everybody goes through it. Know that firstly. How you can reduce is by being ready for the interview. Build your confidence by reading the job description, your resume, about the company, about the subject, possible questions that might be asked. Polish yourself. All these things. When you do all these things, your confidence is built. When you prepare for the interview, you can be less scared. When you know the common questions, for example, I mentioned the common questions. Definitely, you'll get asked 2 or 3 questions out of it for sure. Tell me about yourself is a definite questions, and other questions probably you'll get asked. When you know you can be asked these questions, you can prepare better for that. As I mentioned, sit in front of the mirror, or have a mock interview, as Sandesh mentioned. Go through all these questions, answer to yourself. If you make mistakes, that's fine, but be better next time. So when you do this, your confidence is built. I would say that's how you overcome your fear. But it's a normal feeling. Everybody goes through it. Don't worry about that.
I hope, Diksha, your question got answered. And any other question?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Your name and college, if possible.
Sir, this is Pawan, sir, from Retail and Supply Chain Management, B.Voc, from SDM College. My question
Yeah, go
is,
ahead, Pawan.
is English is very important for getting a job? English communication.
Thanks, Pawan. That's a very interesting question that you put forward. So English is important not only for job interview, wherever you go, right? So it doesn't matter. We are not only talking about the professional, setup or anywhere. So you have to go interstate, or maybe you have to try. You get an opportunity to travel somewhere. English is fundamental because that's a global language, universal language that is spoken. So it's okay if you're not very comfortable using words, vocabularies, and you can't use heavy words in your language right now. That's okay, no problem. Try and make it a point to communicate more. And whenever you communicate, always make it a point that you try to include one or the two words. There are a lot of mediums where you can Google, and or maybe you can learn from your friend lecturers. You have such a wonderful panel. You can always learn from them, and open the dictionary, understand the meaning, and try to understand where exactly to use the words, and try to put them next time when you talk. So it's okay. That's completely okay if you're not a very good speaker, or you're not like a native speaker. That's completely understood, not a problem. But you need to be confident when you go for interview. Even if you don't understand few questions, you can always try and tell them that, yeah, like Tanmay mentioned, you can just mention like, can you repeat the question, or I didn't get the question, so can you repost the question. Or you can probably say professionally, you may mention, that's a very interesting question, I haven't thought about that before, let me think about it. These are few of the words, on your way you learn it. But yeah, so basically, to answer your question, it is very important. It's not the only thing.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ashwit. Can I add something to that?
Please go ahead.
Thank you. I second what Sandesh just mentioned. Communication skills are very important, especially in today's world. In India, there are so many companies, MNCs especially, that requires communication skills. You mainly have your client could be from US or UK or Australia, especially that's happening in India, because all the tasks have been outsourced to India. Yeah, when you're communicating with a US client, definitely your communication is important. It's okay if you make one or two grammatical errors, but if you're not able to frame a sentence, that's a problem. Having said that, that's not something you sit and worry about. There are so many platforms in YouTube, or there are so many books out there to get better and improve your communication skills. But definitely do that. If you especially now in pandemic, you have to stand out. Communication skills combined with your interpersonal and your education is very important.
Thank you, ma'am.
I hope Pawan's question got cleared. So one more question is coming to me from Facebook Live, where they are posting their questions through WhatsApp group. The question goes like this. It's for Mr. Sandesh, but do the companies ask for better marks than skills when the candidate is fresher? So I repeat, do the companies ask for better marks than skills when the candidate is fresher?
Yeah, this is once again a very good question. So yes, companies ask every bit of everything you have. They want to know whatever you're good at. If you're good at academics, very good. Mention about it. I scored this much, and I got appreciation, and I got a certificate of the certificate of the fest, or I have attended national level fest. I got very good appreciation from my lecturers, or intercollegiate fest. That's wonderful. If you're good in academics, very, very wonderful point to mention. But other than that, skills, when you talk about skills as a fresher, the basic skills that candidates might probably have is having an internship, or maybe online courses, or voluntary experience in some organizations, or part-time experience. Like for example, you're studying and you have some part-time experience, that also adds to your resume. So yes, both things are very important. They will definitely ask you both the things. And the recruitment process is just a combination of everything. Think of it like a preparation of a dish, right? So the question is not whether spice is important, or question is not whether the vegetables are important. Everything is important. The final goal is to make a tasty dish. So having this in mind, yes, in the process, your skills, your communication, and your experiences, your co-curriculars, your language, and your interest in the job, these things do matter.
I hope it got answered for the person who asked that question. And one more question: is there any other questions from Google Meet side, or else can I go for the WhatsApp questions?
We have 2 questions in the Google Meet. I will read out the question.
Please.
Mr. Chetan from Mangalore, SDM KG Center, is asking that.
I think there is some glitches, technical glitches.
Yeah.
Dr.
Rakesh, it was not audible. So can you please post it if you are there online? So it got disconnected, I believe. There is a network issue. Anyways, we'll take it later on. I have one more question coming from. Anyways, we'll give priority to the people who are there on Google Meet. Any other question, students?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead with your name and college, and then with the question.
Good afternoon. My name is Lo Lakshi from MSW. My question is that in this pandemic time, how can we the interviews will be going in online only? So how we can improve? We will not be observed in terms of our dressing sense or our confidence. Other than that, in online mode, what they will observe from us?
I'm sorry, I'm just going to repeat the question to understand if I've gotten it right. So you're asking, in this pandemic situation, all the interviews have gone online. What skills other than your confidence or interpersonal skills or communication skills, what else will they look at?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. That's a great question. Everything is gone online for sure. It's a very unprecedented time. Nobody would have thought we'll land in this situation, but we have. When we are taking online interviews, it's just like any other interview. It's just that the only difference is technology, right? You're sitting online, you're at your house, and the interviewer is from his place and sitting there and taking the interview. That's the only difference. But otherwise, we look at the exact same thing. We look at your comm skills, we look at your interpersonal skills, how confident you are, how well do you know the role, how well do you know your resume, how good you'll be, how good of a fit you will be for the role. All the questions will be the same. There's no difference. If you're giving the interview from home or from the corporate office, it's the same thing.
Okay,
and
thank you.
And Dolakshi, to add further, it's actually a myth that the recruiter will not see how you're dressed up, and your eye contacts is whether good or not. Yes, they are observing you. Whenever you talk to a recruiter, each and everything will be observed. Maybe I'm just giving an interview and I'm just looking somewhere and I'm talking like this. It's not okay. Even though you are giving like online interview, you have to be dressed as if you're going to a real-time interview, and your eye contact will be to the camera, and you will listen to the question and you will answer in the same manner as it is like face-to-face interview.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hello. Hi, my name is Ashwini, and I am one of the faculty members at B.Voc here. And as a faculty, I'd like to ask a question. I thoroughly enjoyed both of your sessions, by the way, as did the students, I believe. As a faculty member, I'd like to ask you, both of you, in all the experience that you have had as recruiters in the international scenario, have you observed any patterns when it comes to Indian candidates? That reflects the education system here, or that reflects the lack of training, or lack of preparation for the international scenario. I'm only asking specifically about the negatives. There might be positives also. There's a possibility that Indian candidates do stand out in the international scenario. But are there negatives that you have seen that we as staff and faculty can work upon and train students in?
Thank you, Ashwini ma'am. That's a very good question. Answering the question, yes, you have probably given the answer as well in your question. So definitely Indians are ruling over here in Canada. The major population, the major employees, and even the person when one of the sector person is leading, almost supporting government to run here. So Indians are doing very, very great here in Canada. And when we talk in terms of job, if it is IT, or if it is supply chain management or HR, in each and every spaces, Indians are doing pretty well, very, very good. And of course, yes, there might be a little hindrance here and there in communication. So probably if I have to give an advice, or if I have to put forward some point, I would definitely request lecturers to give a student an opportunity to improve their communications. You can give them any exercises, or any projects, or just talk spontaneously. Ask them, give them an opportunity to talk in front of crowd, and give them that confidence. That is really that matters. Would you like to add anything, Tanmay?
Absolutely. I think you've said it all. Communication skill is one of the things I see lacks. It's not that they cannot communicate in English. They don't have the confidence. I don't know why Indians think less of themselves. There are so many fields, especially in Canada, in IT, Indians are thriving in. And not just that, I see when I'm hiring, compared to Canadians or people from any other country, Indians do not negotiate. I've covered this topic. Please negotiate your salary. You're worth it. Go Google it. Google, for example, if you're applying for a business analyst role in India or Canada, go Google what is the market. What market is offering for that specific role, and do not ask for any less than what you're worth. Please negotiate. I've seen this. Especially Canadians ask for more than what the budget is, and Indians do not ask for anything at all. They say, we'll take whatever you give us. Don't do that. Negotiate, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a query here.
Yes, sir.
Please, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes to certification courses, because now our students are doing their degrees, bachelors in supply chain and retail management. When it comes to certification courses, I want to ask one question. That is, we have here certification courses from Swayam, and then MOOC. Some different platforms are available, and then there are a lot of certification courses also available from some of the brands like maybe IBM, and then IIM, IIT, like that. So when it comes to the certification, what would be your suggestion? Like, whether they have to go for these branded certificates, kind of, which is coming from IIM or IIT, like IBM, or other certifications are also available, which are not that known brand, but knowledge point of view, they may learn a lot of skill sets, but they are not brands. Then what is your suggestion? That's what I want. Thank you. Your suggestion whether you have to go for branded or
sure. I can take that.
Or international one kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or international. Harvard University is there. Like edX is giving some certification course, and then Open University is the UK Open University. So what is your suggestion?
Okay. That's actually a great question. So any certificate you do, I don't think it will go for waste. anything at all, especially in Canadian market. I see that I don't see a lot of certification done from big brands. Like you mentioned, Harvard or any other big institutes, right? Especially in Canadian market, you see people doing something in their field. Like for recruitment, we have something called RPR. For if you're an HR generalist, you have something called CHRP or CHRL. Those are all local ones. So having said that, every country is different. Probably in UAE or any other market, if you've done your education or higher education from Harvard or one of the elite colleges, it will, it will give you weightage. But in Canada, we don't do that. We don't look at specific certifications. Any certification, as I mentioned before, any certification will take you somewhere. It will not go for waste.
Thank you.
Yeah, and add on to this, we from cloud management. It's a very upcoming topic, like Oracle Cloud. Maybe talk about Google Cloud or Amazon. They have their own platforms and they have their own technology centers.
Yes.
So that's really very informative and educative. Any students want to take up that and learn basics of what the technology is and how it really works. That goes long way, to help them.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Any other questions, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
good
sir.
afternoon. I am Navneet from 2nd MSW.
Yeah, I can see Navneet here. So Navneet, you can go ahead with your question, man.
Yes, sir. My question is, now the current situation is very difficult. Is there any extra preparation for jobs, and company expect any extra quality from the candidate?
Hi, Navneet. Absolutely. That's actually a very practical question. In this situation, nobody, of course, planned for this, but companies are actually looking at roles which are most important. They're not releasing a lot of roles which is not necessary, which is not budgeted for. They're planning everything and releasing roles. In order to stand out, I would say, again, I think we have stressed a lot on this, but we can't say enough. Go through your interpersonal skills, work on your communication skills. If you want to do any certifications in your course, do that. Connect with people on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is such a strong platform. Networking is very important, especially now in this pandemic situation. Everybody's looking for a job, right? If there is one role, I see about 200 resumes. Instead of just putting in your resume and not putting any effort at all, go to LinkedIn, network, connect with the recruiters or the hiring manager, send in a note. It's fine. They will look at it. It's okay if they don't get back to you. Reach out to some other people. Try. Do your part. So these are the few extra things you could do. Sandesh, do you have something to add?
Yeah, sure. And Navneet, that's nicely mentioned. And after that, talking from the other side of it, we have seen a few layoffs here and there, and that's very common, irrespective of geographical boundaries, because the budget has to be looked into, and the resources, and few clients are also not active, so companies not getting business. Of course, there are a lot of things that are happening around, and we have seen people getting laid off, and people were asked to go, but it is one of these time, you have to be courageous, and you have to find out the way. You have to figure out alternative best way for you. Always, my suggestion is always be better at your job, and of course you have to be loyal with your company, but always have a backup plan, alternative plan, and be good in what you do. Know your subject very well. People will definitely ask to join for them.
Thank you so much.
Any other further questions? Yeah, Shreya,
Yes, Yes, sir. Hi, myself Shreya Nayak, first B.Com from SDM.
My question is, how do the question differ for the candidates who apply as freshers and experienced candidates?
Okay, so hi Shreya, thanks for the question. So if you are a fresher, we will not ask about your corporate experience or on the job experience. The questions will be mainly general ones, like the ones I mentioned. Your strengths, your weaknesses, tell me about yourself, why this company, where do you see yourself in 5 years, and all the general questions you can find on Google. They focus on that, and they'll only focus on if you've done your projects, if you've done any training, you've taken any training, or things like if you have a conflict with your team member, how will you resolve that? They mainly look at your confidence and how good you'll be a fit to the team as a fresher. As an experienced person, we mainly focus on their experience, what they have done, the companies they've worked for, why did they quit, and what experience they've gained, what experience then can they get to the company, process improvement, and things like that. Yeah, those are the main differences what we look at between a fresher and an experienced person.
Thank you, ma'am.
Shreya, basically, the bottom line here is for freshers, a few basic qualities will be expected. Like, for example, Tanmay mentioned earlier, like the body language, how you speak, your tone, your interest to work in the industry, and what you want to do or why you want to take up this job opportunity. Versus for the experienced candidate, they expect all this quality right to fit in. So they will not usually check your body language, or because they expect you to have it all in place by now. So they might probably ask you more about the subject. How many years have you worked on this? So which technology or platform have you worked on, and what were you doing, and what do you think were the most difficult time you handled, or how did you handle personal indifferences, or questions might be pattern of question might look something like that.
Thank you, sir.
So let's wind up, I believe, because time is also one of the issue. Like, anyways, your questions can be answered by these people, because at the end of the session, I'll be posting their personal mail IDs in the WhatsApp group which you joined already, and with the help of those email IDs, you can get connected with these people, and you can get your queries cleared. So let's straight away move towards. Dr. Rakesh is there with us, who want to give valedictory remarks. Sir, Dr. Rakesh, are you there with us?
Yeah, very much I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Ashwit and others?
Yeah, it's audible, sir.
First of all, I congratulate both resource person, Tanmay and Sandesh Bhatt, for giving this wonderful presentation to our students. And also, I thank all the participants, especially who have waited for us. And initially, we almost 20 minutes we wasted, means because of technical issues. We could able to connect the people, and people were there still, they didn't go. So I thank them for being patient with us initially. So to sum up this webinar, I would like to say, if my students and other college students also take some of the tips, whatever this person has given, probably they will get into good corporate jobs. So I request all the students to cope up with this current situation, as well as be strong. One of our students were asking how to prepare for the interviews, especially in the pandemic situation. So be strong psychologically, mentally. You should be strong enough. You have enough capability to acquire the job in the market, which is available in India or outside India. So this was a great session, actually, where our team planned for to cater the need of the students, especially they know how to get a job in India, but probably they're having a big question in their mind to how to get a job in abroad. So this was initiation taken by our team to cope up this or cater this need of our students. So I congratulate my team as well as resource persons to deliver this need for the moment. Thank you for your, I appreciate your hours. Thank you. Over to you, Ashwin.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rakesh, who is a HOD of Bachelor of Business Administration and B.Voc Retail and Supply Chain Management, SDM College Ujire. So I again thank you, sir. And now I request Miss Ashwini to give a vote of thanks. So Miss Ashwini, are you there with us?
Yes, I am. Okay,
Please.
a very good afternoon, everyone. Rakesh sir has already expressed gratitude, but I'd like to do it as a formality. We have had a very productive international session on global recruitment strategies hosted by the Department of B.Voc in Retail and Supply Chain Management. I'd like to thank everyone who has been actively a part of this webinar and has made it successful. Ms. Tanmay Hegde, Talent Acquisition Consultant at Higher Power Incorporation, Canada. I thank you on behalf of our department for your insightful session. Thank you very much for spending your valuable time with us and guiding our students in your area of expertise.
Thank you.
I thank Mr. Sandesh Bhatt, Senior HR Business Partner, IVEE Solutions Canada, for his engrossing session on human resource management. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I also thank Dr. B. Yashavarma, the Secretary of SDM Society, who was with us for most part of the webinar, as well as Dr. Satish Chandra, our principal, in their absence, for guiding us through this idea. I also thank Mr. Suvir Jain, our course coordinator, and Dr. Rakesh T.S., HOD of BBA and B.Voc in Retail and Supply Chain Management, for their consistent support. In a word, I extend my gratitude on behalf of the department to all the faculty members of the college who have been present today, as well as all the student attendees for your responsive attendance. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Ashwini. Finally, we have come to the time. It's time to wind up the session. So I really thank to all the active participants who were there with us throughout the session, even after having some technical issues. So you will be getting feedback from through the WhatsApp group and also the mail IDs. So please do give the feedback, and also when you submit it, you will be getting e-certificate to your registered mail ID. So one note which I need to mention here is that when you write your name on feedback form, please write it carefully, because the same name will be reflecting on your certificates also, and also the name of the college also. So please give little attention while you write your name, because the same name will be displayed on certificate. So thank you one and all, and have a nice afternoon, and also all the best to everyone.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Praveen sir, for your technical support.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, Praveen. Thank you, Nagendra sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, Ashwini.
Thank you all. Nice.
Thank you, Suvir sir. Ashwini, thank you, Ashwini, ma'am, for your all support to conduct this webinar successfully. We hope we can do few more webinars in upcoming days.
Yes, sir. It's in tunnel now.
In the same team spirit, yeah. In team spirit, yeah. Thank you. See you in the next meeting.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.